Scorpio, something that was taken from you is returning. I'm talking about real, tangible restitution that you will be able to see, touch, and feel happening in your life. For years, you watched others receive what you deserved. You saw opportunities that were yours being given to those who didn't even have half your ability. You experienced the pain of working in silence while others received the applause. You endured the injustice of giving your all and receiving crumbs in return. But there's something you didn't know. Every time something of yours was denied, stolen, or diverted, a debt was recorded in the invisible records of the universe. And now that debt will be paid with interest. Not because you begged, not because you became perfect, not because you finally deserved it, but because there is a cosmic law of balance that no one can break forever. And this law is about to manifest in your life in such a powerful way that you will finally understand that nothing you've been through was in vain. God heard your prayers, not just the ones you spoke aloud, but especially the ones you cried silently in the middle of the night. The ones that sprang from your soul in moments of deepest pain, when you no longer had the words to form complete sentences. The ones that were just internal cries of why and until when. All of them were heard, recorded, and are now being answered in a way that will leave you speechless. I'm going to reveal exactly what's being returned to you, why it took so long, and most importantly, how to identify the signs that the restitution has already begun. Because it has already begun, Scorpio. You may not have realized it yet, but small movements are already happening behind the scenes of your reality, rearranging the pieces so that you finally receive what has always been rightfully yours. The question I need to ask you is, are you ready to receive, or are you still trapped in the scarcity and loss mindset that has characterized the last few years of your life? Scorpio, you need to understand something fundamental about how divine restitution works. It never arrives in the way you imagined. You were waiting for things to go back to the way they were before, for the people who hurt you to come back apologizing, for the lost opportunities to be offered again in the same way. But that's not how it works. What was taken from you is returning multiplied, transformed, in forms so superior to the original version that you will realize you lost the small version in order to receive the abundant version. That relationship that ended and destroyed you, it needed to end to make room for much deeper and truer connections that wouldn't fit into your life if you were still stuck in that limited bond. That job you lost or that opportunity that was denied, they were small versions of what you truly deserve. The universe took you out of that place because you were settling for a mediocre reality. And there is something extraordinary reserved for you that can only manifest when you are no longer occupying spaces that don't serve you. The money you lost, the people who abandoned you, the dreams that seemed to have died, all of that was temporarily removed from your life to undergo an alchemical transformation process. And now it's returning multiplied, elevated at frequencies so high that the old version of you couldn't even handle such abundance. Can you feel that something much bigger than you imagined is moving towards you? For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November the 2nd, what is being returned is mainly related to professional and financial recognition. You have worked hard in silence for years, and now the time has come to reap the rewards visibly and undeniably. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, restitution comes through relationships and connections. High-quality people are about to enter your life, and you will finally experience the kind of love and loyalty you have always offered but rarely received. And for those born between November 13th and 21st, what is returning is your personal power and your voice. You have been silenced, diminished, invalidated, but now your voice will echo with an authority that no one can ignore. What all Scorpios will experience in common is the feeling that life finally makes sense. That feeling of always swimming against the current will end. Doors that were locked will open with surprising ease. People who blocked you will simply move out of your way. Obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome will dissolve as if they never existed. Not because you've become perfect, but because you've paid the price of transformation, and now it's time to reap the rewards. Are you ready to stop fighting and start receiving? God heard your prayers, Scorpio. And the answer isn't just yes. It's yes, and much more than you asked for, because while you were praying for crumbs, the universe was preparing a feast. While you were asking to survive, Providence was orchestrating your prosperity. While you were pleading for a little peace, heaven was orchestrating your complete victory. The difference between what you asked for and what you're receiving will make you realize that your requests were too small because you didn't yet understand the magnitude of what you truly deserve. For years, you may have felt forgotten, ignored, as if your prayers were falling on deaf ears. But the truth is, every tear you shed was collected, every night of anguish was witnessed, every moment of pain was recorded. And now all of that is being transformed into blessings so abundant that you will have to expand your capacity to receive in order to accommodate all that is coming. The silence you interpreted as divine abandonment was actually the sound of massive preparations happening behind the scenes of your reality. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared, forged, transformed into someone capable of carrying the level of abundance that is about to manifest in your life. Because if that abundance arrived earlier, when you weren't ready, it could destroy you. But now you are ready. Now you can receive without getting lost in the process. Scorpio, there is a specific reason why your restitution is happening now. It has to do with completed cycles, integrated lessons, finalized transformations. You have gone through a process of death and rebirth that few signs can endure with the depth that you have. You descended into your own personal hells, faced your demons, transmuted your shadows. And when someone does this profound work of inner transformation, the universe has no choice but to reflect that transformation through equally profound external changes. What is returning to you is not just what was taken away. It is the evolved, multiplied, and enhanced version of what was taken. It's as if the universe took everything you lost, placed it in an alchemical cauldron, added the ingredients of your resilience, your strength, your ability to rise from the ashes, and is now returning pure gold to you, where before there was only common metal. The people who hurt you without you doing anything to deserve it, they will witness your rise. Not because you need to prove anything to them, but because it's part of the cosmic balance that those who underestimated you see exactly what they lost when they chose to belittle you. The recognition that was denied you. It will come from sources far more important and meaningful than those who rejected you. The love you offered and wasn't reciprocated, it will be returned, multiplied through people who know exactly the value of what you offer. Right now, as you watch this video, invisible processes are already in motion. Conversations about you are happening in places you can't even imagine. Opportunities are being aligned in ways that will seem miraculous when they manifest. People are being guided in your direction. Resources are flowing into your hands. Doors are opening. Paths are clearing. All of this is happening now, at this moment. And in the coming weeks, it will begin to become visible in your physical reality in ways that will surprise you. Can you feel this energy of change that is already in motion? Scorpio, one of the most powerful things I need to tell you is, you no longer need to fight as you have until now. The war phase is over. You have won battles that no one saw, overcome obstacles that no one recognized, survived storms that would have destroyed weaker people. And now the harvest phase has arrived. The time has come to receive the fruits of all this resilience, of this almost supernatural ability to transform yourself through pain. What is coming will not come because you forced, manipulated, or fought for it. It will come naturally, flowing toward you with the same inevitability as water flows to the sea. Your only responsibility now is to be open to receiving it. And for many Scorpios, this will be the hardest part, because you have become so accustomed to fighting that you don't know how to relax and allow good things to arrive without resistance. Over the next few days and weeks, pay close attention to the small signs of change that will begin to appear. An unexpected message from someone important, an opportunity that arises out of nowhere, a problem that solves itself, a resource that appears exactly when you need it. Money that comes from sources you weren't even expecting, recognition that comes without you having promoted yourself. People who offer genuine help without ulterior motives. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that restitution has begun. They are the first fruits of a harvest that will continue abundantly for the coming months. And every time you recognize and give thanks for these signs, you amplify your capacity to receive even more. Because gratitude is the frequency of abundance, and when you vibrate at that frequency, you attract even more things to be grateful for. God heard your prayers, Scorpio. But more than that, God saw your pain. He witnessed your tears. He accompanied your silent struggles. He observed your dignity amidst the suffering. He recognized your strength when everyone around you thought you were weak. And now he is returning not only what you lost, but also compensating you for every moment of pain you unjustly experienced. There is a divine justice at work in your life that is far more precise and comprehensive than any human justice could be. It forgets nothing. It lets nothing slip by. It doesn't allow anyone to be wronged forever. It may take time, and in your case it did, because you first needed to become the person capable of handling such abundance. But it always arrives. And when it arrives, it makes up for every second of waiting. Scorpio, you are about to understand why you had to wait so long, why your prayers weren't answered immediately in the way you wanted, why you had to go through so much transformation before receiving what was always yours. The answer is simple: because you were asking for small versions of what God had prepared for you. Your prayers were limited by your limited vision of what was possible. But God sees far beyond what you can see, and He was preparing something so much bigger than you imagined that it simply wouldn't fit into the small life you had before. To receive what is coming, you first needed to go through the fire of transformation. You needed to burn away all the smaller versions of yourself. You needed to free yourself from limiting beliefs about what you deserve. You needed to develop the inner strength necessary to carry great blessings without losing yourself in them. And now you are ready. Now you can receive without it destroying you or transforming you into someone you are not. What is being returned to you is not merely material. Of course, there will be material manifestations: money, opportunities, recognition, resources. But more important than that is what is being restored within you. Your faith in life, your capacity to trust, your joy, your lightness, your radiance. Things that were extinguished by pain and disappointment are being rekindled. Parts of you that died in the battle are being resurrected. You will laugh for real again. You will dream without fear again. You will open yourself up to possibilities without the first thing that comes to mind being the fear of losing again. You will trust again that good things can happen to you, and that when they do, they can last. This inner restoration is as important as any external restitution because it is what will ensure that you can maintain and multiply everything you are receiving. For many Scorpios, one of the greatest difficulties will be believing that this is real. You've become so accustomed to scarcity, to struggle, to denial, that when abundance begins to flow, your first reaction may be distrust. This can't be happening to me. There must be a trick. Something will go wrong. This is your mind, conditioned by pain, trying to protect you from future disappointments, but you need to consciously choose not to sabotage your own blessing. When good things start to happen, don't look for the negative. Don't try to figure out what could go wrong. Simply receive with gratitude and allow the restoration process to continue flowing. Distrust will block the flow. Openness will amplify it. You have to choose which stance you will adopt. Scorpio, your prayers have been heard. Not just heard, they have been prioritized. Because when someone like you, who rarely asks for help, who prefers to solve everything alone, who has intense pride, When someone like that finally kneels and asks for divine help, the entire universe stops to pay attention. Your prayers carried a different weight because they came from a different depth. They weren't superficial requests or fleeting whims. They were cries from the soul, and those kinds of prayers are always answered. The answer may not have come when you wanted it. It may not have come in the way you expected, but it's coming now, in the perfect form, at the perfect time, in a way that will have the maximum positive impact on your life. And when you look back in a few months, you'll be grateful you didn't receive it when you thought you needed it, because now you have the maturity and strength to receive much more than you could have handled back then. There is something profoundly liberating in finally understanding that you are not alone in this fight, that there is a greater force supporting you, defending you, restoring you. For so long you felt you were fighting alone against the world, carrying unseen burdens, bleeding wounds no one recognized. But you were never alone. Every battle you fought with invisible support. And now that support is becoming visible through concrete manifestations of blessings in your life. What is happening to you now will serve as a testimony to others who are going through the same kind of silent battle you went through. Your victory is not just yours. It is also a message of hope for all those who are waiting for their own restitution. When they see what happened to you, they will find the strength to continue believing that their time will come too. Scorpio, in the coming days, you will begin to notice changes in how people treat you. There will be a different kind of respect, an admiration that didn't exist before. Not because you've changed your behavior, but because your energy has changed. You are emanating the frequency of someone who is being restored, and people feel this even without consciously understanding what is happening. You will attract better opportunities, higher quality people, and situations that honor your true worth. Also, observe your own emotions. You may begin to feel a lightness you haven't felt in years, moments of spontaneous joy that arise for no apparent reason, a renewed hope that you thought you had lost forever. These are internal signs that restoration has already begun at deep levels of your being. As you heal internally, this healing manifests externally through changes in your material reality. Something I need to warn you about. When abundance begins to flow, some people around you may react negatively. Those who are used to seeing you struggle may feel uncomfortable with your rise. Some will try to minimize your achievements or find ways to attribute your success to external factors. Don't let that affect you. Don't dim your shine so that others feel comfortable with their own limitations. You worked, you suffered, you transformed yourself, you paid prices no one saw. Now the time has come to reap the rewards without guilt, without apologizing, without belittling yourself. Use your story of transformation as inspiration for others, but don't feel obligated to justify or explain your blessings to anyone. What is yours, and you owe no one an explanation about what you are receiving. God has heard your prayers, Scorpio, and the answer is manifesting now in ways that will surprise you, move you, and make you question if this is real. It is real. You are not dreaming. You are finally living the life that was always possible for you, but was blocked by lessons you needed to learn and transformations you needed to go through. Now that you have overcome them, it's time to enjoy the rewards. Receive without fear. Give thanks without feeling unworthy. Celebrate without guilt. Share your joy without apologizing. And above all, use your newfound abundance to help others who are still battling the battles you have already won. Because part of your restitution is the ability and responsibility to be a source of blessing to others, just as you have been blessed. If this message deeply touched your heart, it's because you are energetically aligned with everything that has been said here. Share in the comments if you have felt signs of change in your life recently, however small they may be. These confirmations not only validate your own experience, but also encourage other Scorpios who need to hear that they are not alone in the process. Subscribe to this channel now because your restoration is just beginning and you'll need guidance on how to handle the abundance that's coming, how to protect yourself from envious energies, how to multiply what you're receiving, and how to use your blessings to create a positive impact on the world. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that can support you in this victorious new phase of your life. Scorpio, you will receive what is yours, not a diminished version, not the leftovers, not the crumbs, the full feast, the complete inheritance, the multiplied restitution. God has heard your prayers, and the answer is yes to everything you asked for, and much more than you ever imagined asking for. Prepare to receive, because your harvest season has begun.